Ta-da! Let's see, that's right at the wrong level. All right, I literally had to move the other camera and scooch it down so that you guys can see me in here. So let's see, looking at the computer, apparently I've used up all the USB connections I can use for web cameras. Got the one here, I got the other one inputting from the Canon T7i. I got the one built into the laptop, and I have two additional Logitech HD cameras. Actually, I stole them from the Octoprint servers. So I was going to have one be directly above. Actually, it's still hanging up there. I got to remember to pull it down. And I was going to have another one kind of on the side here so that, you know, as I'm building from this angle, you guys can see what's going on. But apparently, through the magic of Windows, I've probably used up all the addresses I can use. So we are stuck with what we got. So that said, we got a lot done last night, and we're going to keep on trucking along. I'm probably going to do a long stream tomorrow because I really want to make some progress on this. And the cats are in full throttle mode. They are playing with the packing material, so you will definitely hear those guys in the background. So let's see. Hard to hear you. Is anyone else having difficulties hearing me? Because I've made no changes to the sound setup. And I just want to make sure that if someone's bringing it to my attention, it's good here. Nope. Sounds good to me. Okay. Well, Mike, you have been outvoted. When in doubt, sometimes refreshing the page will help. So you could try that as well too. Good evening, Todd. Be part. No worries, Mike. No, if there's a problem, I want to be aware of it. So there you go. Okay, I'm trying hard to pay attention to the camera. Let's see, I have the big screen behind the camera that has the instructions that we've been chipping away at. A few updates. If you missed last night's build, as you can see, we've got most of the frame done. If you have built an FT-5, one part that was very handy was this. What you would do is you would snap this guy and see how close you were as far as your alignment and spacing. And it looks like the 1 meter long ones, because I mean there's really not much wiggle room between the T-nut and the way that this is set up. So it looks like those are fine. There's definitely some room for improvement on the 500 millimeter ones on the ends. I did print 2 of these on last night's video as well as on the FolgerTech forum. I posted a little reminder saying this is a really good part to print. It's a Thingiverse part. Doesn't matter if you use PETG, PLA, you know, you don't have to go overboard. But this little spacer will hang and do a nice job of letting you know exactly, you know, how good your spacing is. Because the next step after this is when you're building your gantry, so you just want to make sure that everything is good and level because the gantry is going to be hanging off of that. Let me start with the usual good evening greetings. I don't know how many of you guys are regular viewers of my channel, but welcome to Where Nerdy is Cool. As you can see in the background, I've got a lot of 3D printers. This one makes number 8. I know. Maybe the Betty Ford Clinic might have a wing that I need to go visit for a 3D printer addiction. I just enjoy building them and tweaking them and making them bigger and better. The other things I do, I'm building a BB-8. I have done a full-size R2-D2. Actually, I've done 2 full-size R2-D2s out of aluminum. And I've got a Batman suit. I got Stormtrooper armor. I'm one of those adults that never grew up. I have a lot of projects, a lot of interest. And that's what Where Nerdy is Cool is all about. So welcome to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, there is a button down there in the corner that you can hit. This way you are notified when I have new live streams or new videos up. I don't do a lot of reviews. There's a tremendous amount of review channels out there. I think that's kind of there's way too many as far as I'm concerned. But I don't do just reviews. I do reviews every now and then if it's something I feel passionate about, whether I like it or if I don't like it. So I'll share that with you. But I enjoy doing these build videos. I enjoy doing the upgrades. And I do a lot with Octoprint and Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is, now that we have this, why grow up? It's boring, exactly. You're an irregular viewer. Awesome. In the description below, a couple of things I want to point out before I get carried away building. By the way, a few things. type all you want in the buffer. I love it when there's a good conversation going on in the buffer. I will be paying attention closely to it to try to answer all the questions that come across. This is a very interactive build. I've never done one of these before, so I'm bound to make mistakes. So you will either have one of two things: a learning experience, and you can mock me at my expense. So, but we're going to do it together, and we'll have a good time doing it. And the other thing I want to point out is in the description below, there's a couple of things of note. There is a discount code or coupon code or whatever we call it these days that you can use on FolgerTech.com. So if you are thinking about buying an FT-6 or anything else he sells over there, if you use that code, it'll save you some money. There is at the bottom of your chat, there is a little $ down there. If you like what you're seeing and you want to throw me a donation, you hit that button, choose your amount, and I thank you very much in advance for whatever you wish to grace me with. I had a couple of people last night that threw me some stuff on PayPal, so thank you very much. And there's also down in there, there's a support the stream link and a PayPal link if you guys wish to oblige. So that said, frames all together. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of backpedaling, and I'm going to move this camera further back. I apologize, the Canon view is not nearly as nice as the webcam view, but what we're going to do, I'm going to show you why these are important, and I'll try not to stand in front of the camera while I do it, and show you what it's all about. These guys, by the way, if you do print these guys out, they take about 3 hours. Mine were, I think, 3 hours and 40 minutes. So it's not the kind of thing that you print and wait anxiously for it to be done. I went with 20% infill because I wanted it to be good and solid. So, all right. So what we are doing is, first thing, let me show you in the directions roughly where we are at. I'm sorry for the window view. Okay, let's get rid of this annoying pane that Adobe insists on blessing us with. And let's turn our Bibles to chapter. I think we're around 19 or 20 by now. I know some of you guys are, well, there's 19. So that's our next step. So let's go back over here. Now, we're not going to bother adding the spool mount because to me that's just something that's going to be in the way during our build right now. Okay, so these pieces right here. Let me see if I can do all this without tripping on the multitude of cameras I have hanging around here. This may be a little loud because this is our audio camera as well. All right, let me get some stuff out of the way here. And let me give the cat the evil stare of death so that he understands that he is not allowed to go near this thing. All right, and I think I'm on the Canon. So, okay, so this is the alignment tool. This is going to be exactly 170 millimeters between each. So what we want to do is snap this guy on, and it looks like it's pretty good. But what I'm going to do, just to be sure, I'm going to put one here and one on the other side. And what I will do is with the Allen wrench, I'll loosen these guys up. Okay. Loosen these dudes up a little. Okay, let's make sure that that guy is happily attached. You could get away with one, but I like the idea of having two of these guys here. Okay, I'm just going to press down on this a little bit. And there it is. Pop one out. And pop number two out. Okay, and I know that, okay, I'm pretty far off camera on this shot. Let me go over here. So over here, what I'll do is I'll place these over here, and these guys are actually really good. Looks like I may not have to make any changes to this one, but let's check the other side just to be sure. Well, it feels good. But just in case, let's loosen these guys up just a little bit. The other thing I'm going to do, I want to make sure that everything is fairly flush here, where the end piece comes up against the extrusion. And again, I'm not doing crazy torquing tight on these guys yet. Boy, I was tempted tonight. I am one of those guys that's on that keto diet, and this was the one day a week to cheat a little bit. So I got a little Caesar pizza, and my stomach is making all kinds of sound effects, letting me know what it thinks of my choice. Okay. I think everybody's happy with that alignment. And let's get you in here too. Cling, cling. Okay. And let's get this camera swung over a little this way. Sorry for the swift jerking motion on that. Let's see. When you are near the camera, the sound is more higher. Well, that's... let's see, what kind of printer is this? This is, you know, I'm sorry, I neglected to do a couple of things. Let me share the link. I don't have my moderator with me. Usually Keith jumps into my live streams. I'm kind of spoiled at having his help most of the time, but I haven't talked to him in a couple days. So what I will do is I am going to share this link so you know exactly what type of printer this is. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. I sound like I'm on helium. Boy, this pizza really wrecked me then. Okay, I think this guy is going to be fine without any adjustments, but we'll do it anyway. All right, let's loosen these fellows up. And what I'm doing, I'm just pressing down just to make sure that this all is happy. Don't go too hard because, as I've noticed, it looks like I put a little crack inside one of these mounts already. That's why you print multiples. And this guy looks good. So this is indeed a very big printer. Yep. Now this is a good example right here. Of course the camera can't really see it, so let's kick over to this one. We're definitely off on this one. So what we need to do, let's get that second one in here. Yeah, I can't even. Yeah. So let's loosen these guys up a bit. Boy, I come down this basement, I'm always freezing. Now here I am, I got this sweatshirt on and I'm kind of cooking. Alright, the next step is loosen this guy. Whoa. Alright, so I got the whole bar moving now, which is not exactly what I intended. So this is a little bit of juggling right here, trying to hold this guy in. Alright, let's get one side at a time here. Let's get you flush. Okay. Now on this side, yeah, loosen the outside pieces. And you got to be prepared for these things. You want to go sliding away on you. And the big thing is you're hoping and praying that these T-nuts are grabbing. Okay, so you seem happy. Let's put a second one here just to make sure. Yep, you're good, you're good. So let's, so it's easy to think that you can lean on these things. Don't do that. But now with these spacers in place, at least we know that everything is uniform. There we go. Hey, Edward, $2. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna get rid of the sweatshirt. I got a head start on the coffee fund. I'm gonna put the cap back on because my cranium solar panel is very reflective. And let's get this guy out. Yeah, I know with my FT-5, the T-nuts were a little bit of a trial and error. I think maybe because those were a little bit smaller, maybe? I don't know. So I feel like we're in a good spot right here. Let's see. Did I measure the jig to make sure it was accurate? Well, I spent a lot of time. Actually, I did do this, but I'll show you. So it goes from, here we go, there's 1 to 17 centimeters. Or sorry, millimeters rather. Centimeters would be like way bigger. The other good thing is that as a consolation prize, even if this is not an exactly 170 millimeters, let's say it's 171 or 169, everything in here will be that exact same measurement. They'll all be off by the same amount. So, okay, everything looks good. I still really want to be able to put some corner stuff in here, but that may come in time. Now let's look at where we are at here. Okay, we're at the other camera. Good, good. And you can see BB-8 is all lonely there in the corner. So this was the part of the frame assembly where he was suggesting the spool holder, which I think that's kind of silly to have right now. Now the other thing I'm going to show you is, see, this right here says mount the assembled BFP08 and BFP09 to the underside of the middle of the 2020 using the M5 hardware. I missed the part you said my tool. Oh, this? The FT-5 175mm spacer? Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I do have an American accent. Yes, well, I am in America, so that would make sense. It's funny, when I visited Australia, they were like, wow, you really have an American accent. And I'm like, well, I'm in Maine. I am right by the Canadian border. Well, technically, I think I'm 90 miles away. The next state over for me is New Hampshire, which is where FolgerTech is located. So now I'm looking at the directions here. I just want to point out that, okay, we can hang these guys up if we want to. But the next step over here on the X assembly, he's indicating that we are installing these little idlers. So I think I'd rather install these idlers while the parts are on the ground versus after. That's just my point of view. I'm thinking it might be a little bit easier. The other thing, all squares up and goes in like that. Okay. So yeah, I just think it's going to be easier to put the idler in first before we mount it up in there. And hey Matt, thank you. Woohoo! I'm up to $4. Hey, wow. I'm like into a large size coffee. This is awesome sauce. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and let's see, we have the, okay, so how in the world are we doing this big stack of stuff? Oh, no, 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 no. I am not from Ireland. Okay, let me move the other camera. I'm going to go jump in front of another one here. And boy, I got literally 6 USB cords dangling all over the place over here. So the instructions, let's see, as we saw here, let's go back. So we need to collect some hardware. I'm going to go back to the external camera here. Let's go here. And again, I'm going to do my own little edit here, and I'm going to add these idlers and then go back and then install this, because I just think that's a better way to do it. So the motors are on this side, so we don't have to worry about that for now. So we got to put an idler here and an idler there. Yeah, good idea, man. I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that kind of struck me as funny. Well, not funny, haha, but you know, funny as odd. Let's see. So we have a couple more of these. Now these are the idlers that do not have any teeth. That's one. That is two. Okay. Now we put this all together. Yes, a big plug for your tool. This thing has worked really nice. Yes, I just measured it, and mine, because my ruler is kind of wonky anyway, came up right at 17 millimeters. Depending on how well your printer is tuned in, as far as your your extrusion and stuff like that, extrusion multiplier, I guess is the word I'm hunting for. Okay, so for the idler, I'm guessing we're doing the, okay, so according to the directions, we have the 220, you know what? I'm looking at the camera view and it's like they can't see me. So let me lower this so you can see me. Not that I'm just all about you seeing my face, but. And is it any better? Probably not. There we go. Because I want you to be able to see me as well as what I'm working on. There we go. God, this printer is so freaking huge. It's just hard to sometimes work around it. So we want M5, and I'm assuming, where's my 25s? Where's my my handy dandy gauge? Okay, so this is definitely way too big. Did I read that? M5 by 25, yeah. Okay, there's one of them. There's number 2. Another good tool, I don't know who made this on Thingiverse, but a very nice, handy way of quickly measuring the metric stuff, because we're just not used to metric. Alright, so we have the bolt, we have the idler, you know, this is one of those parts where I'm wondering if a washer would be a good idea. Oh, did you see Molly? Yeah, right now they're both running around down here. They know that when the cameras are on and the lighting is on, that they are the stars of the show. And do I have the right size Allen wrench? I do. Alright, so this is great until it hits the end of the socket. Cats are looking at me like, what toy is that? What size wrench is this? I bet I don't have an 8mm wrench to get this all the way down. Well, it's interesting you say, Chris, because it does have at the bottom of the plate, it does have a little, do I say girders or whatever? It does have some support. I was talking to Corey. Yeah, this is as far as the socket's going to let me go. He makes a lot of the aluminum pieces for these upgrade pieces. I should probably post a link to his site. He makes some really nice stuff. It is not for the faint of heart. It's pretty expensive stuff, but if you know what it costs for aluminum right now and what it costs to pay for machine time on a CNC machine, you can certainly appreciate the work he does. Oh, okay, so let's back you off a half turn. Okay, so the secret here is making sure this thing can turn, and it can turn. And let's see how far this is going to stick out the bottom. Quite a bit, actually. But as long as that thing's spinning, I'm happy. I'm not crazy about these odd combinations of machine screws and nylocks and stuff like that to make these things work, but the other thing I am, should I put a washer on that? I should put a washer on that. Because I'm a big advocate of not dimpling the ACM. So I am going to use a number 10 washer. Oh, free aluminum? Well, there you go. Well, I want to be your friend. The aluminum that I have where I live, being in Maine, they use a lot of the alloy that's called 5052. And let me see if I can tighten this up real quick. Yeah, the whole thing's going to spin on me. Okay. So let's, this is where the challenge is. I want to tighten the bottom screw, but not that middle one. Okay, you're in. You seem to be spinning. Okay, that one has been successfully completed. I don't know if I beat Mr. Phillips at it, but I'll let Matt tell me. Yeah, I'm only going to use one wire. Yeah, I only used one. As a matter of fact, let me try to do a close-up here with this camera here. That's what I did. So there you can see that washer under the nylock. I did not use anything on the top. Oh, 6061 is good stuff. Okay, that has been done. This is way easier, and again, not a knock on the documentation, just a suggestion, but it is way easier to do these things with the part in your lap versus having it installed and up in the way. All right, so we will do this one more time with enthusiasm. There. So once again, we'll go as far as we can with this. I hope the 9 p.m. or 9:10 start time works out better. I had a lot of people all week long saying, but I live on the opposite coast. It's like, sorry, I just can't appease everybody. Okay, let's try this with the other hand here. Sounds like one of those things as a kid that you'd use to celebrate New Year's Eve. Okay, have I gotten as far as I can get with the size of the socket? Probably. Oh, geez, you're stuck. What the heck? Let go. Let go. Oh, it's not misthreaded. It's just Oh, yeah, I've gone about as deep as I can go with that. Joy. So once again, we're stuck doing the plier game. I bet I could see this better if I wear the old glasses here. Someone asked on the FolgerTech forum, you know, what's the build time to print time? You know, how long does it take to get this thing built? I don't know. I don't know if anyone's done a marathon build. John had commented yesterday that, hey, you're having a build race with somebody. No. If they want to go faster, by all means they can. I'm going nice and slow. I don't want to have to go back and redo anything. I've already had to do that a couple times. And, all right, let's see. How are we doing on spacing? We got plenty of space here. A couple more twists. Unfortunately, the socket I have isn't one of the deep sockets I could use for a spark plug or something. That would have worked out better. And let's see. I don't want you touching, but I just want you to be there. Okay, yep. Actually, I'm going to bring you out maybe an 1/8 of a turn. There we go. Okay, rolls. Yep, that's moving freely. I guess with all my droid building, I'm used to seeing some sort of bushing or something in there to keep it all spinning. Or actually, to be honest with you, and again, I'm being picky, I would much, rather than this, I would much rather see a toothed one, but that's okay. Dun, dun, dun. But that's just me being picky. Okay, I am once again going to defy the documentation, and I'm going to put a nice little washer in here because I don't want to ruin this beautiful ACM. Okay, and let's do this. Oh my goodness gracious, do we have a visitor named Mr. John Folger? Do I have to clean up our language? Welcome and good evening. I hope you're enjoying the rain we're getting. And you're good. Make sure you're spinning. All right. So again, we went out of sequence a little bit. I just figured from reading the directions, you know, the 3rd or 4th time, I kept thinking to myself, it's going to be way easier to put these idlers in before having it installed in the frame. But, you know, that's me. I'm just not Mr. Adventure. Cool. So what we're going to do now is, let's go back to the directions here one more time on the big screen. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, no, we've had a lot of people offering a lot of feedback on the instructions on the build, asking about it as well. I think one of the people in the thread actually was asking about worrying about, you know, the bed sagging or anything like that. So there. Okay, so we're going to get these guys mounted to the frame. So again, so we're mounting the BFP8 and BFP9. It's listed on the bottom here. Here's why I wish all the parts required were listed up top with the other parts. But because if you don't know what BFP 08 and 09 look like, you got to scroll back to the very beginning and look at your chart. But that's okay. So we got this, and let's come back to my happy little face. And we're going to put a whole pile of M5s in here. Yes, so if you guys have questions for Mr. FolgerTech himself, hammer him. Ask away. That was asked on the very first night. Yeah. Yeah, I had a couple of people saying, it must be something for a big piece. And I let them choose whatever metaphor, adjective they wanted to select. Okay, let's make sure we're doing this right. Yeah, good, good. Directions have been very good. Offer a couple feedback suggestions already to John and Chris. There we go. But overall, it's been good. I am excited to see what the electronic portion of this is going to be like, because so many people did the upgrades to Cat 5 or Cat 6 cables and PCB connectors to get rid of silicone wire. If you're doing this, pay attention to, there's a little bit of leftover material when you put the screw there. So just make sure there's no blowout from the ACM sticking to the threads. Sometimes you'll start to put a T-nut on there and wonder why it's not threading, because there's a little speck of residue there. Okay. This giant organizer, I know I have one from my i3 build and from my FT-5 build. They're very handy for organizing all the hardware. The only thing I would do different is don't get the deep pocket ones, because it's a bugger to get a T-nut out of there. And if you, yes, you'll probably hear the cats in the background. They are diving all over the extensive amount of paper packing that came with the box. I didn't have the heart to throw away the box yet. They've been having too much fun with it. There is one thing I should make you guys aware of, though, and especially while John is here. John can face the music for this. If you buy one of these printers and you unbox everything, you will not find any gummy bears. You will not find any candy. Lord Bay, yeah, I watched a couple of his videos, and how do I say it nicely? Well, what the hell, it's my channel. I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, good grief, dude. And it only takes one T-nut to mess up the entire install. Here we go. You're in. To quote the movie Caddyshack, be the ball. There it is. And I don't know. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I watched a little bit of his stuff, and it was problem, suck, 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 and I just, if I wanted to hear that, I'd call my ex-girlfriend. So I don't know. Each to their own. It's kind of like that YouTube channel where that guy keeps on claiming Joseph Prusa steals all of his ideas. Like, wow. I thought the Tinfoil Brigade was fictional, but this guy's really, what's his name? Prototype Design Test, I think his name is. Yeah. I don't know his real name. I don't know, maybe his channel is sponsored by Prozac or something. I don't know. I just I just watch and cringe. Well, it's a kit. You know, my FT-5 was a pretty rough ride, but John and I stayed friends. Okay, so I'm just going in here, and again, not going crazy tight, because if you do, it'll bite you in the rear end. I have to say, especially while John's here, I know I mentioned it yesterday, and I'm not saying that to suck up, I like the white. This white is really nice. Dun, dun, Okay, yeah, I'm definitely glad I put that idler in now. Holy crap, it's tough to get in there. But, and it's fun to bang your head on it too. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, the ones in the corner are a little tough. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely, there's a couple spots here where if you have a small child, they want to earn some allowance money. Maybe if I wasn't doing this with little tiny wrenches. Okay, you are in there. Wow. Don't ever get old, guys. My goodness gracious. There. That guy is up. Dun, dun, dun. What's interesting, what really pops to me about this is, I know you just, sorry for the noise, you had just released the enclosure for the FT-5, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with the 6 in that regard. And I mean, I was just looking at this, and then my Ultimaker in the background. I mean, I could literally put 3 Ultimakers inside this. It's just crazy. Even the Ultimaker people had commented on my Instagram, like, whoa. So, yeah, I think they've been wondering why I haven't been more active with the Ultimaker product line, but I'm like, well, look what I got for 1/3 the price. So that may eliminate me from the Christmas card list. So now we're doing big friggin' piece 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 screws. Yes, you should definitely switch out to white. I had a really good, like I said, the FT-5 build, the worst part was the wiring. Okay, now those guys. I think I'm one of the few people, of the people I know that built them anyway, that I'm friends with. I've had no trouble wiring. All my trouble was the melamine bed. I just could not get that thing level. 3, 6. But up until this printer, when people came to the house and saw 7 printers set up, they always gravitated towards that FT-5. You know, just like, whoa. And I said, yeah, that's the beast. Let's check the cover. Good cat. Yeah, the printed solid guys have been good to me. Yeah, I enjoy them. Nice bunch of guys. Okay, so let's pay attention here. So our motors are up top, so the T-nuts will be up top. So before I get carried away doing this and chatting, I do like the stepper motors having the engraving in the back there, FolgerTech.com. That's a nice touch. Wow, we got like 21 people on tonight. That's cool. Last night was about 24. Let's see. And what's fun about this is I believe Matt is building his at the same time I'm doing this. I know he'd sent me a screenshot yesterday or this morning showing him building with my video running in the background. That's really cool. I like to tell people that I am marginally not famous, and your child's Minecraft channel probably has more subscribers than mine. But I still have fun. Let's see. I would have this up close, but it's really not that interesting to watch me put screws and holes. The ACMs were working out really, really good. I got a little piece of ACM debris stuck in the thread here. There you go. Well, come on now, there's always that one. There you go. Now you're happy, happy, joy, joy. Sorry, happy, happy, joy, joy, Ren and Stimpy. That is not my private jet starting up and idling, waiting to hustle me to Los Angeles. No, that is my furnace. It is a 1960 something. I don't know where you guys are from, but yeah, I'm definitely a user of the hydrocarbons. Okay, so we get the T-nuts all lined up until I bang it in the frame and lose the alignment again. Let's see, just checking the buffer real quick in case I missed any questions. Hello, 22 people. Alright, this does get to be kind of a fun little balancing act here when you have stepper motors involved here. Oh no, don't you spin. They spun. Oh man, did I get that all in the first time? No way, did I really? Oh, awesome sauce. Come on. Bite in there, you little bugger. I get one more biting, I can at least let go of the thing. Yes. So there is one downside to the printer I can think of so far, is that moving this thing is you're going to be required to lie to your friends, invite them to dinner, and then sucker them into, you get to help me move the beast. Now I wonder if I still have, okay, I get that part of it. I got a bunch of these hex pieces. But do I have the screwdriver side of it? Man, I thought I did too. Let's see, there must be another toolkit. Nope, that's not what I thought it was. Yeah, because I really would love to use these guys. And these nice expensive toolboxes, and I don't put my tools in them. Okay, that's my tap and die kit. That's not going to help me. It's shrink wrap galore. And my welding stuff. Jeez, I just saw that. I hurriedly moved all kinds of stuff out of the way, so oh well, I guess I'm stuck with the Allen wrench again. Okay, I should probably point the camera at what I'm doing. Keep it interesting. Oh. Okay, this way with the HD camera go. Oh, you know what? With the stepper motors in the way, this is this kind of ups the suck factor. Here we go. So that one's done. Really? The furnace is running again? Keepers creepers. What are you doing, Theodore? Okay, you're in. You are in good. That one's not fun. What are you doing, Theodore? The problem is it's such a short Allen screw. Oh, I'm sorry, Allen screw. Allen wrench. I don't know what I did about the other ones I had. I have so many of these that came with all these Chinese kits. I think this is the one from my CR10 kit. There. Definitely wish I had the long ones. That part that's behind the stepper motor. Let me find that. Okay. It was in my toolkit I keep for R2D2 when I have R2 on the road. And that's the one-year-old cat running as fast as he can to throw himself inside the packing. Okay. That's neat. It rolled under the printer. Okay, got the right size. Okay, I need you to go the other way. Alright, let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's the way to do this. Oh, yeah. Hoorah. Looks like I know what I'm doing. Alright, where's that? This is the one with the back. That. There. And the other one here. So, yes, for these pieces in the corner, definitely recommend something like this, because you won't be able to reach it very well with something as tiny as this. Okay. Did I miss anything in the channel buffer real quick? I must know Marines. I know all kinds of Marines. I spent 7 years in the Air Force. Actually, I was Air National Guard. So I served from 1987 to 1994. Actually, I did a 6-year enlistment, and then I extended for a year. I was activated for the Persian Gulf War, or the Gulf War rather. When we were activated, we have KC-135s over here, the aircraft that do the aerial refueling of fighters and bombers and cargo airplanes. And we were activated. They did send a bunch of tankers to Saudi Arabia. The people that were active duty guards people, regular Monday through Friday guys that worked on base, a lot of them went to Saudi, and those of us that were activated took over for them. The plan was they would go down for 6 weeks, and then they would return, and then we would ship out with the remaining tankers to basically replace them. Of course, as you know, the Gulf War of '91 wrapped up rather quickly, so Yours truly did not have to go overseas. I was, however, you know, active duty for like 175 days or something like that. So, but yeah, a lot of the, actually the guy that runs the gym I go to, they're a bunch of Marines. You know, they're you know, all that stuff, whatever. So yeah, that's my background. I started flying when I was 13, got the license when I was 22. Always wanted to fly jet fighters, and I didn't have the college degree. So when I finally had my act together, I was considered too old because I was close to 29. So now if I want to fly a jet fighter, or own one rather, I gotta win that darn Powerball tomorrow. I have piloted a jet fighter. I got to ride with a gentleman who had bought one. It was a de Havilland Vampire, which is a British jet fighter. It's one of the early ones. It has twin tails, resembles a P-38. And he damn near killed me, but I was still all smiles. But yeah, he gave me the controls and let me have at it. And yeah, I made a lot of expensive noise over the over the boonies of Maine. So hoorah! Old man, yeah. Well, no, I graduated high school in '88, so I'll let you guys do that math. Thanks for, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got a lot of guys ask me, you know, do I have a veteran plate or stuff like that, and I don't. I always tell them keep that for the guys that actually, you know, fought overseas and, you know, did that sort of thing. I certainly appreciate the recognition and all that, but you know, I'm okay. So we got this part done. Let's go back to the Canon camera. 86, wow. So you're the old man of the group. Oh, CH-53, the Chinook. I think. Is 53 a Chinook or is that a Stallion? I can't remember. Well, JDC, make sure you take advantage of the coupon code that we have. It's in the description down below. That will save you a bunch of change anyway. And Theodore is still upside down playing in the paper. Whatever. Stallion. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we had a Naval Reserve over here. Actually, let's see, John is in New Hampshire, but he's about 4 hours from me. We used to have in Maine, in Brunswick, we had a naval air station, and they had P-3 Orions. Those were the anti-sub hunters. Lockheed Electras for turboprops, and they recently retired those guys in favor of the Poseidon. I think that's a modified 767 that's taking over that role now. Spent all my money on the Hypercube. Yeah, you gotta let us know how that's going. Okay, before I go to the next step, I'm gonna take a little drinky pool of water here. All this bending and moving around, I'm feeling it tonight. Let's see, today was Friday, so today was shoulders at the gym. And felt good leaving, all pumped up, what have you, and then by evening time it's like, oh, what did I do to myself? Okay. Oh, you're doing the electrical on that one now? Okay, good for you. Let's go to the instruction screen. Let's see if we've missed anything. Vodka, there you go. Yeah, someone asked me, how come you don't have beer while you're building? It's like, really? With an audience? Yeah, right. Hey, thank you, sir. $1.99, appreciate it. Appreciate the tip. Nope, a little latency there, but yeah, it should have, oh, you know what? It would have popped on screen. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Look at the zombie. Haha, so cool. Thank you, sir. Okay, back to the instructions. Okay, so this step 6 is all about the filament holder. We're going to skip that. We don't have to worry about that. The X-assembly has been completed. Cool. Okay, we have already done the idler. I can add you exactly. Yeah, I'm up to what, $6? Yeah, because we had two. Yeah, because someone said $2 for coffee, and then someone else threw in $2, so that made it a large coffee. And now with the additional $2, oh, I'm sorry, $1.99, we can in turn add an espresso shot or something to it. I tell you, you guys are lighting me on fire. Okay, so let's read the instructions together. Let's see, mount the 2 idlers using the L5 hardware. We have done that, and we verified that they move and they're happy. and they will never cause us trouble. And they spin free. Mount the two 800mm linear rails centered between the upper plates using the M3 hardware and every other hole. Okay, so if this thing is 800mm long, that tells us that the rail is 1000. So we're going to have to offset each side by 100mm. Very good. And, you know, I was telling you guys that I went to the gym feeling good about myself, and the valve on my chair must have failed, or I got fat in between because, there we go. Now the chair's back up. So the big giant rails. Okay, let's move some of these tools out of the way. Okay, the flat washers. And again, for the M3 stuff, not this, I'm learning new words tonight. So for M3 stuff, I recommend the number 6 washers. For the stuff with M5s, for example, like what we did on the idler mount, I recommend the number 10 washers. I know it's not in the instructions. I don't know if they will add that or if they agree with me, but my thinking is that it prevents that from dimpling the ACM when you start to tighten things up. So that's Paul's unofficial advice on how to preserve your ACM. And now you want to be careful with these because we do not want these bearings, which are full of teeny tiny little bearings, to go sliding off the end. The cats may enjoy that, but I will not. Okay. So we're going to have 3 in here. One's going to be a 400, I believe. Yeah, 400, yeah. And then we have 2 800s. And looks like they've done a good job putting some stuff here to make sure it doesn't go rolling around. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Let's go to the closer camera so you can see all the fun. And maybe I should center that view back up. And there. And of course, because of the latency, I can't tell how quickly this is updating. We'll call that good. Okay, the next package, that's all lead screws and rails. All right, no one's typing, so I'm assuming I'm still streaming okay. Guys. Okay, yeah, that's working. Okay, good. Yeah, when everyone gets quiet all of a sudden, it's like, uh-oh. Is something not working? All right, so we got a couple things we got to snip. Okay, well, they, if you're wondering if they're lubricated, they are lubricated because, good grief. I'm all doity. All right. Let's get some of the excess oil off that thing. All right, so they're all held together with these zip ties. Where's my snipper? We're here. Okay. We're all screaming okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. If you guys aren't regulars to my channel, usually on Friday nights we would do Friday Night Nerd Chat where we would basically talk about whatever. Sometimes I would just talk about some of the things I've been reading about or videos I've seen, and most of the time it's an exchange between my audience and me. We go off topic quite a bit. And sometimes we start talking about stuff and decide, hey, while we're all here, let's upgrade this printer. And we've done that many times. All right, so I got a pile of straps here. There's a trash can back here. Really? Okay, that's good to know. I guess what I probably want to do is, where is my caliper? Dun, dun, dun. I suppose I could use the ruler, but the caliper is much more precise. So what I can do, okay, let's zero you out. Let's zing you out to about 100. Come on, 100 point. What are you doing, Theodore? All right, come on. Don't you hate it when you're at like 100.02, 99.9? Come on. Haha. There. Okay, so this dude's set to 100. And somewhere here is a Sharpie. And okay, let's go to the edge and kind of make a little smudge here where 100 is. All right. Okay. And let's do it on the other side. Let me go to the zoom out here. Theodore, I don't mean to embarrass you in front of everybody. What the hell? You stink, dude. I mean, not like in a good way either. Get a kitten, they said. It'll be fun. Okay. And one mark. Come on. All right. So that's probably give or take a millimeter, but it's a start. Okay, shut this guy off. Let's see. Ooh, did not see. Oh, cannot see that. Yeah. Actually, I can fix that for you. Dun, dun, dun. So what I've done. Actually, let's. Sorry, it's gonna be loud because I'm right by the microphone. What I've done is I've just put a little smudge there showing where 100 is. Did the same thing there. As you can see, a little mark. So, and again, I just did that with the calipers. So, how accurate that is, I do not know, but it should get us in the ballpark. Or as I like to say, I'll have the one printer that's only 719 millimeters. Let's see. Okay, that's locked in. Now, the nice thing is these things have these little red plugs here, okay? So this thing will not go careening off the rails on you. Now, he mentions using every, oh man alive, that's a lot of oil. If there's a lot of oil in packing, that tells me that the maintenance is going to be fun too. I use sewing machine oil on my FT-5 rail. I do the same thing with my Ultimaker, which has chrome rods. But so let's see, if I'm doing every other hole, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Yeah, is John still here? There he is. Hoorah! And let's aim the camera down so again you can see the rail being worked on. Swoop. Okay, and we're using how many zillion? 32? Oh, really? I counted 15. I'm wondering if I should mount, if I remove those red plugs, should I, you know what, it's not going to matter. I'll leave the red plugs where they are and then start adding screws beyond that. So M3 by 8. Just pulling out handfuls of A3 T-nuts here. Just so I have them. I will need more than that. So I'm wondering, let's see. As far as where you're, okay. Did you guys, one question I want to ask, did you guys just leave those red stoppers in and just put M3s on every other hole from there, or did you put an M3 in place of those end stoppers? Does it even matter? Oil and screws are a lot of fun. Leave them in. Okay. So what I've done is just to show you. So the red is there. Let's see. Let me go here. And my first screw is next to it. So we're just going to leave the red one there. And there's a lot of oil. Every other hole. So. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're it's getting a little late, a little punchy, because I'm trying to drop the screw in the hole here, but with my finger so oily, the screw is kind of going anywhere it wants to go, except in the hole. Get in there, you little bastard. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm here tearing Theodore. Yo, Ted, what are you doing? Oops, and if you do this too long, you'll tip. Apologize for not having... No, I have not already cleaned anything. I did wipe them down once, but there's still quite a bit here. Can't even hold these things. I'm a clut. Okay, and being an M3, it takes several twists for that to thread. Oh my goodness gracious, these T-nuts are popping right off. All right, why are you not threading? Okay, that one is. Okay, well, you gotta remember M3s are real little, so it's gonna take a lot more twist to get that on securely. Kind of used to it, the M5s, just a couple turns was all they took. But it's a whole lot different world, these little guys. Yeah, I'm having a tough time. My hands are full of oil, and the M3s, I was giving them just a couple twists, and then I'd move on to the next one, it would pop out. So, M3s are pretty fine threads, so definitely give it a bunch more turns than I have been giving them. And you guys wanted me to drink beer and do this. Yeah, I'd love to have some music in the background, but I really don't want the YouTube copyright strike again. So how many of you guys are going to go to MRRF next week? I'd love to go, but that's quite a ways away. Come on, you. Wow, my coordination is just not playing well with me tonight. There it is. Someone's going to find it before I search for it. It's the Midwest Rep Festival. There we go. And I believe it's the same place as last year. Yeah, someone talked about doing one in the New England area as well too, which is John's backyard and my backyard. I had someone ask if I was going to bring my R2D2 to one. I'm like, no. That is a crap ton of work, taking that robot anywhere. All right, every other hole, dun, 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 dun. Okay, so far I haven't failed. I'm just not doing it very quickly. Cosmoline, yeah, it's the same stuff. A friend of mine used to work at a motorcycle dealership, and it was fun whenever you got to be there when they uncrated a motorcycle or a snowmobile or something made overseas. And if you really want to smell Cosmoline, just go to Harbor Freight. It smells like rubber in there. Oh, I'm worried to lose my hat again. No, there's no special rates for R2. As a matter of fact, we really got screwed over at the most recent event that we did. We went all the way to Portland for the symphony orchestra, and they always pay mileage. They always, no problem, give us your mileage, we'll cover that, and X amount of dollars to cover your time. And this year they sent me a check for the gas. And I was like, whoa, nah, I didn't do all this work to get $35. You need to fix this. So you need to pay mileage or think twice about calling me again. I haven't heard back, so, which is too bad. We've had a good relationship with them, so I'm hoping it was just an error on their part, but good grief. It's much easier to do this sideways. And no, I'm not screwing them all the way in. I'm not screwing myself that way. See, screwing. See what I did there? It's just easier. I'm going to ask a question that's probably been asked a zillion times before, but let me ask it, John, anyway. Is there any reason why you like these little roller balls versus, say, an IGUS dry link? I know I've seen a lot of people use a lot of IGUS hardware, and I didn't know if that's been tested, if it's any better, worse, same, equal versus these guys. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this is where I have finished off. Okay, so I have a T-nut here by the red, and then if I was gonna do every other one, I would have to remove the red popper. So I'm a little torn because I want to follow the instructions and have one on every other spot. So I'm torn as to whether I should. I mean, I can just move this popper, I think. Boy, that goes in there pretty firmly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the second to last one temporarily. I'm not going to squeeze it in there too hard. This way I have complied with having one at every other junction. Let's see, yeah. Now the other thing is, the only way I can see to get these poppers out is from the back. So I'm going to loosen this one. And then I'm going to fit it back in there and there, so that I can actually get that out later. Okay, now the fun part's going to be making all of these T-nuts line up so that I can install this. There's no way this is going to work the first time. Okay, because I'm either going to bang my head or hit something. Holy snipies. Okay, black mark. Black mark. Theodore, what did you do over there? Alright, not the TMI here, but I think my freaking cat has gas or something, because I'm being stunk out of this house. I don't think that new dry food is making him too happy. Okay, so this is going in pretty well. I will swing the camera around in just a second here once I get all these guys torqued in. The good news is seems like all of them are gripping and biting. Let me switch over to another camera. Let's move that one over here briefly. There, you can see my high-tech setup. A little webcam. Okay, and there you see it. All kinds of lights in your face here. Sorry about that, but if I go from a little bit of an above angle here, you can see that there's a little black mark. So I'm looking at your comments real quick here. Because based on what his instructions said, so it's the rails are 100 millimeters. This is let's see, 0 to 100 right here, and the little mark is right on top. And same with the other side. Two millimeters from the edge. Where are you guys talking about? Are we reading the same instructions? Because this tripod likes it. Okay, what's this 2 millimeter? Oh yeah, you don't want to slide off those bearings. Yeah, I got those little red plugs right there just to keep things temporarily in place. Okay, so you have a... So you are saying, let me remove the camera from the tripod for a moment here, because I want to heed your advice, since you have one working. So your comment is this should be further away. How far from that ACM should I be? Because I think if I get the gist of what you're saying slide this, make it 1 centimeter away from this ACM piece right here. Is that correct? And I'll put this back on the tripod while I await your answer due to the latency here. About 2 centimeters. So 20 millimeters is what you're saying? Okay. And this is 20 millimeters. This is where the ACM is right now. So let's loosen these guys up. Well, I just want to point out that I had been following the instructions to the T. But if 2 centimeters away from the ACM piece is the voice of experience, then I am overheating it. Come on, you. Oh, you son of a... I was worried about that, loosening these up and retightening them, that they would not all grip the rail. Okay, so that's the spacing we have gone with based on your feedback. And with these, I'm going back a couple turns, then back into tighten. Yeah, Matt's got a good question. Okay, let's just make sure that this rail is... Okay, all is well there. Hello, furnace. So from here to roughly there is 20 millimeters. So is everybody in agreement that I did that correctly? 1 centimeter away from the ACM piece. Well, that's, you know, that's a good call because I'm just measuring on the other side, and by doing it that way, that makes this side also roughly, give or take a smidge here, 20 millimeters away. So that's kind of interesting how that works out. Okay, I'm not sure about that, but here we go. Live and learn, right? Because before, I'm looking at where the mark is on the frame up there. Because I had marked up on the frame 100 millimeters. So, okay. And what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to get that ACM thing off of this. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this copper so I can get that easier. And I'm just going to loosely put it into the second to the last hole so I can pop that off with a plier. And then in you go. Trying to keep track of the discussion here. Okay, I'd like to get you sideways again because it's a little bit easier. Yeah, sure, tip over. That wasn't exactly my plan here. Well, I'm glad you're here, Z1. It's really good to have an interactive build with someone that's been there and done that. So thank you for tuning in. That helps Matt and I and anyone else that watches this video later. Because it's certainly easy to adjust these bearings now versus when everything is installed on them. I need a whole bunch of M3. This thing is huge. How about a little water break here? Okay, I'm going to actually locate some tools because they're in the way right now. And I can actually move the laptop. Not the production one, but I can at least see what's going on in the buffer. Okay, now I can see what's going on. There, let's see. Z1, did you get the dual extruder set up as well too? Oh, come on. There it is. I'm having such an issue with this thing toppling over on me tonight. Did you get the pie screen? I was going to, but I figured, well, maybe I'll save a little money. I mean, I got a bunch of Octoprint servers anyway, so the, the touch screen interfaces, it looks nice, but I do so much of it all web driven. I just log onto the laptop or tablet I happen to be on and fire off the prints that way with Simplify 3D and such. So while the interface is nice and looks good, I just save a little money. Yeah, I'm a fan of Simplify 3. I'm not a big fan of the dual extruders like this, you know, the Y adapter types. I guess I've been spoiled with my experience with the Ultimaker 3, the way they have multiple print heads, and E3D coming out with something like that soon. Because for me, I mean, multicolor printing is not something I'm really terribly interested in. It's cool, but it just, most of the things I print take several days, so adding more time to it is not the top of my list. But if there's the ability to have, you know, 2 extruders, one being able to do PVA, you know, polyvinyl alcohol support material, with something else, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, you can do just one. Yeah, just means you're not changing it out. Yeah. I got that G-Tech A10, and they make an A10M from Ultimate Material, and some people like it. And I see their prints, and I see a lot of marbling and that kind of effect, which I guess for a $250 printer is a good result. I need more. These are M3x8s, right? Yeah. Starting to wonder if I grabbed a bunch of M3x10s by accident, but I got more of them if I have to jump into that stack of stuff. Okay, so note to self, before I go hanging this up on the side of the frame, mark off 20 millimeters away from the ACM cutout. Wonder if anyone's replaced their drivers with the 2130s and just eliminated the limit switches altogether and just used the trinamic setup. I got a pile of 2208 drivers that I've been meaning to install, but as you guys know, I got a million projects going on at once. Okay, this one. So 1, 2 more. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about these, you know, filament sensors. You know, a lot of my printers came with them, the CR10S, the G-Tech A10, and frankly, you know, the stuff that I'm printing is, like I said, you know, 4 or 5 day prints, so I never rely on a 99-cent mass-produced limit switch. I just try to make sure that I know I have enough filament or not, because changing it out, I don't know, that's always been problematic. Yeah, I wish someone would do the you know, tutorial on how to do that, because if you go to the Duet website, you know, they start asking you all these questions about Cartesian, and you're like, what? So They're asking really high-tech questions that my low-tech brain can't answer, it seems. And what am I stepping on? Power strip. Probably don't want to step on that. Yeah, okay, that's good. So those guys are measured out. I will again move the camera around so you guys can see the drama. Alright, let's lay you up on top here. Unfortunately, that top camera I couldn't make work. That would have been cool to have. I was trying to find a way to make my GoPro stream, but that's not really set up for that. Okay. Let's get you set up here. I think that's the right angle. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know if John is still with us or not. I see we have 22 viewers, so I don't know if we've dropped or gained anybody or what have you. But all right, so the stoppers are in place. Now the fun part is trying to make these guys all line up. And with any luck, I get the impression this slid a little bit. Okay, so let's you're loose, you're loose. Okay. No. It's like the one that I tighten up buckles over. Huh. You suck. Okay. All right. One more time with enthusiasm. Okay. Wait a minute. I need to be further away. doing? There we go. Was lined up with the wrong black mark. Okay. What, Theodore? You're talking like R2-D2 over there. Yes, and tomorrow we're going to get you some dry food that doesn't make you stink the whole friggin' house up. Yes. No more IMs for you. Okay. Hooey. A lot of reaching and twisting and hoping these things are really going in the channel and turning. Okay. We'll look at the laptop in a second here and heading out for the night. Hey, take care. Yeah. Okay. You have to get those rails vertically aligned. Well, once they're in there, there's really not much. I mean, they look good. So let's take a peek here. Let's unravel the camera again so you can see what we got. Okay, so both sides are at the same spots. As far as alignment on the extrusion, they seem to, I mean, at first, yes, they look okay. Let me, pardon my grabbing the lens here real quick. Stay right there. I mean, does it look good? That's my big concern right now. Because I did check my calipers, so these guys are the same distance apart. And I'm going to check my cord here. And these guys, and this one here, are the same distance apart. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. So yeah, yeehaw. Okay, the stoppers are in. Good. And the excess hardware, let's put that away because I'm sure I will need that for the next steps. So I'm just trying to catch the points you guys are presenting here. Yeah, because I see what you're saying about the whole vertical alignment here on the extrusion, and I mean, once those T-nuts are in there, there's not a lot of sway up, down, as far as that goes, from what I can tell anyway. And I'm seeing I got a little bit of leftover glue from the packing tape. I'd like to remove that on the beam here. Alright, yeah, get off some of the excess. Okay. Hi, Mike. Yeah, they look centered to me. I mean, I can certainly grab the caliper here, and the frustrating thing is, loosening, 16 screws to try to get that extra millimeter or two. I don't know how much that's going to do for me. So let's see, if I go over here and caliper you between here and here. So you're about 4.3. Yeah, same story there. How are you guys? 4.34, it's 7. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't mention in the direction. See, that's the one thing that, they don't really touch on is, because I don't see how you can really affect, How do I say this correctly? Let me kick over here. It's kind of like when we put the 1 meter long 2020 on here with the ACM piece. Once those two bolts were on there, even using the tool that we 3D printed, it was on there well. So I guess my short answer is I don't know how I could make this more centered up and down if it was off a gross amount, I guess. I'm trying to get all this oil off my fingers. Okay, let's get this camera back around, because I think the next part is the teeny tiny little gantry pieces. So I guess we will see. Like I said, if that comes back to haunt us or haunt me, we'll know. But at this time, they look centered up on the aluminum extrusion. Yes. Could they be more centered or perfected? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're a hundredth or a thousandth off somewhere, but you think you can center the rails? Yeah. Well, you know what would be great is if, yeah, I mean, if there was a tool that would hold it in place and center it, yeah, I mean, that's great. Because as you know, that when you start tightening these guys up, as I discovered real quickly, is when I started to tighten up the first part of one of these, it automatically, as the screw was biting into the extrusion, it wanted to go over. So I really had to back it off and hold it in real tight to make sure that it stayed on that measured mark and didn't go, you know, any further over. So yeah, if there's a better way to do that, I think that's going to be a great idea if you have an idea for a tool on that. Okay, then let's look at the instructions. So yeah, it doesn't seem like we're exactly burning through the steps here tonight, but that's okay. It's Friday night. We can stay up late and do some stuff. And so the rail is in, the eyelets are in, and the cat is back in the paper. So just to recap, I think we're all clear with each other. So Z1, you made a really good suggestion about altering the location of where the end of the rail is to maximize print volume. So that's very cool. That's good that you mentioned that. And then as far as centering the, you know, that bearing on the extrusion, that's a good tip too. Yeah, Chris, that's exactly what DM is talking about. He made the 170 millimeter spacers that we used to make sure that we had everything correctly jigged up. Theodore. Sorry, he certainly enjoys that packing. Okay, so the next step, we got the X assembly done, the Y assembly. So now we need to find BFP 18 and 19. And unfortunately, we don't have any pictures of what they are outside of the graphics, so we got to go sifting through the small tools, or small parts file. Theodore, are you having a field day playing inside that packing material? I think I know the answer, but... Okay. And this is, if I recall, this is all my belts, which is not going to help us. Okay, these could use a little bit of cleanup, but otherwise, no worries. Okay, this is not what we're looking for. That's not it. That looks like the extruder housing. This, nope. Okay, we're looking for stuff that, let's see, this looks like one of them. This looks like one of them. Okay, and then we got the, well, these two look awful alike. Good. Let's look at the instructions one more time to compare. So essentially these guys are going to pop into each other. You may find that, as I'm finding, is that they will not fit together until you blast it with your breath or something. Okay. So I think I have the proper alignment of these guys. And so I think the only thing holding this is one screw and a, yeah, square nut. And they go in pretty snugly. It's interesting that the way they made that connection. That's interesting. Okay, so I said 2 M3 by 16s. And square nuts. Just checking to see if I missed any comments, but you guys are quiet at the moment. Okay, pro tip is make sure that the hole is cleaned out, because the minute I put the screw in there, it stopped. Okay, so this feller goes in like so, okay. Screw goes in from the top. We need to get our square nut in there. And, oh, here we go, it's straightening out. Get ready for the pinch. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Very good. Next. All right, so this one is going that way. Just making sure. Yeah, the bottom doesn't matter because they're both BF-17s, okay. I was a little slow on getting my finger on the other side here for it. Okay, not going super tight, but those guys are in. And just checking the cameras, good, good. Okay, so this has been done. Okay, Y assembly. Alright, so mount the assemblies from the last step to the end of the 500mm 2020 using the M5 hardware. Make sure the hex head bolts are on the end. Okay. Okay, so first things first, let's get that rail. Alright, does anyone have any pro tips on this stuff? Ah, crap. And I got all kinds of label residue all over the extrusion. That sucks. Oh, how I hate packing material on top of that. Okay, so what we're doing is, for some reason, the label of this bundle of parts left all kinds of glue on the aluminum. And I definitely want to get that off of there, because I don't want it to look like ass. And we're going to get rid of all the aluminum debris in the channel. And I almost wonder if WD-40 would be better than Goo Off, but I think I'd rather smell this orange citrus goop. Okay. It's shiny, it's smelly, and it's free of the packing label. Hooray. Okay. Awesome sauce. Now, is anyone chatting? Boy, everyone is so quiet. Is my channel even still up and online? Maybe? I don't know. Alright. No biggie. And so I wish there was a another angle on this to know which goes on which end here. So it looks like this one goes over here. So I see the M5s. Yeah, see this is, it'd be nice if there was a little exploded version of what goes where here. Okay, so what I'm focusing on is this right here. Okay. So this only has a little piece coming out to the side here, which is this. And that's going to be where the two M5s are. So let's go with what seems to make sense to me. Okay, I'm going to grab two M5s. Okay, because on the right side you only see the inside. So just using a logic, you're going to have something on the other side too. Okay, so let's do this one right now here. So based on that, okay, that picture, okay, so this is going to be inside of here. We want this to be very flush on the very edge. And we'll give this a little, okay, smooth you. Okay, so there's this one and this one, and then it looks like from this angle this guy's sticking out. No, okay, here we go. So this guy, okay, so these two secure it like this, and that fella's sticking out. I just wish this thing had a top angle or a top view or something. It's a little unknown. I mean, I get the gist of it after staring at it long enough, but maybe I'm just thinking two angles would have made a little bit more sense to me. But it's okay. All right. If anybody's still here, say something in the chat buffer, because I'm feeling a little lonely over here. Okay, so this guy goes this way, and this one's gonna go this way. Okay. Something. Well, I got the answer I was looking for. Okay. Does that make sense at all, what I was mentioning here in the screenshot of the Y assembly? Okay, so there is this. Okay, that sticks out that way, and then this one has a little screw hole for now. Here's what I'm not seeing. I guess what I'm looking at here, here's where I'm stumped when I'm looking at this, okay? So I have, that's the M5, there's the M5 on the other side, there's the M5 here, there's an M5 underneath here holding the rail, and then there is this, which if I zoom into it, that looks like the one that has the hex head. Yeah, that's that guy right here. But this mentions 2 hex head, so I'm wondering, where does the second one go? And how does this M5 hex head stay attached? It's just hanging there. This this doesn't jive. Well, no, he's been very, he's written good documentation. I'm really not knocking it. It's just a little incomplete here. I am, because I have, so this is that side, and then this is the hole where it looks like a hex head goes. Yeah, John's left, yeah. It's late. But the instructions show a hex head going up here, but how is it supposed to stay? It doesn't thread in. So, and it's not mentioned in the text of the description below. So, That's a little frustrating. And deja vu, more of this. Yep, we do use 4 M5 T-nuts, and those were used. We used on here and here. You know, basically the 4 were used to attach to the rail. Okay, and again, I am going to move the plug over one here so that it's easy to pull out. So yeah, I'm curious. Let me pull up the instructions again here. So if you can figure out from this what this magic screw is supposed to be held up by, you're smarter than I am at the moment. Okay, M3 by 8. Nope. I thought that too, Todd. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's just floating there. Well, there's really, I mean, unless it goes on with a nylock nut, that's, yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's supposed to be attached there. Um, so I am diligently working, oops, sorry, working on attaching these M3s again. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good spot for a pulley idler. It's just weird. And as I mentioned in the previous page, you know, it would just be nice that, you know, across the top here, you know, it'd be nice to know which is which. But, you know, I've been harping on that for the last couple nights. Peanuts? Yeah, we got the M3s, which are going to be holding the rail in. Yeah. Then we have the, so that's for the rail right here. The 2 M5. Oh, no, wait a minute here. So I wonder. So should the, okay, I think I see maybe what you're saying. So maybe the outside screws should be using the M4s on the outside of the carriage. I think, maybe? So would the hex heads, see that's why it sucks, because there's no view over here. So I'm guessing, so the screws on the, let's say this correctly. So the hex head M5s go into the rail on the outside, and the M5 10mm go on the inside. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, yep, okay. Now the fun part is, can I get the screw out with that? Oh, I did it. Okay, so I got the, boy, I'm glad I got friends like you guys to help get me through dumb stuff. Okay, needle nose pliers is probably not the best way to do this, but let me get the camera back on here. Okay, so what I have done is now, so we get these guys on the inside, and then I just replaced the one so that the one on the end here is the hex head. And now I gotta remove this guy and make that a hex head. Because it's weird, because when you look at that illustration, because they're in this diagram, there is this hole right here, okay? So, and that probably goes to a pulley or something later on. But the way the illustration is it shows a, you know, it shows the hex head hanging directly under that. So I don't feel like I was too stupid for getting that messed up. This is where an exploded view would help a lot. Boy, I could really go for a foamy beverage. Like a nice, yummy malt beverage. All right, M5 by 10, you go there. Theodore found a plastic ball. And it's too tight for a socket. Ah. Huh, 151. Yeah, I mentioned some feedback. I've given feedback on the i3 Mega build as well too, a few things, and he was really good at accepting my comments. So I always feel comfortable reaching out to Chris saying, hey, in your new manual, there's a lot of things that are really well said, but there's a few things I think would be beneficial, and he's always been very courteous and very nice at listening to my response. All right, come on, you. I want to tighten you up, but I don't want to. Okay, that's on there. I don't want to risk killing it. Okay, so I think now that we got hex right there. We got hex right there. Sorry, the white is so reflective it throws off the focus. So this guy's okay. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Z1. Thank you, everybody, for keeping me on the right path. And I think most of these. Okay. Okay, because I will definitely want to ask Z1 about if I have to space this kind of funny as well too. These M3s thread into that T-nut very loosely. I don't like that. That's why it's frustrating when you attach it to the 2020. The way it bites into it is a little weird. And I don't know if I'm describing that properly, but I'm sure there's a better mechanical explanation than I gave. Well, here's the thing. I did. I got this beautiful set of Craftsman. Problem is, it's like they're every other size. So, yeah. So that's what happens sometimes. You buy these assorted kits and think this is going to be great. And it turns out that everything I do with 3D printers is on the smaller end of the spectrum. So I'm sure Lowe's or Home Depot have something way better that I should be using. All right, now let's see. Z1, you're gonna have to guide me on this one. How much distance? Let's see, I wanna make sure this is the side facing me. How much distance should I have over here from the end? Okay. Well, you know what? That gives me a second to zoom out the view for a second. Oops, that's my goo going. That ain't my glass of water. It would taste fizzy though. Let's see. Actually, while you do that, actually someone's... Yeah, Home Depot. Yeah, I have a Husky Air Compressor because someone was asking me the other night about why I wasn't using an air compressor to blast out the debris here. I have a Husky Air Compressor that's probably about 10 years old and it's a 30-gallon. And that thing literally takes about an hour to fill. And it's, you know, being an inexpensive Husky Air Compressor, I'm pretty sure that if I fire that up, you can hear it from there. Harbor Freight, I have a love-hate relationship with. There are some things I don't mind getting there because I know if it blows up, I don't care. I've had a lot of air tools, reciprocating saws, stuff like that, that I bought from them that they just blow up and die. But I would definitely be happy to invest in Old Milwaukee or Cobalt or Craftsman or better stuff. But I'm gonna grab my bottle of soda real quick. I'm gonna kick us back to this view real quick so everyone knows what step we're at. With a fizzy beverage. It's not a beer, but it will do. Okay, let's back over here. I have a confession. I have a beverage that I'm on the keto diet, so I don't do soda or junk food very often. I've lost 42 pounds doing this diet for the last, well, almost a year. Came across these the other day. Orange vanilla Coca-Cola. I'm one of those guys, I like the vanilla coffee creamer and stuff like that. I'm a big vanilla fan. I like vanilla Coke as well. And came across this, thought, holy crap, that's gross. And the lady at the register said, you know, hear me out. She goes, I really like it. So yeah. Okay, back to what you're saying. Let me see. Mine is 15 millimeters away from the edge opposite to the Y motor. Dun, dun, dun. So my question would be, okay, but is that facing me? I'm sorry if that sounds like a dumb question. So I've got this piece here, okay, so would that, are you staying 50 millimeters away from this rail? Okay, the Y motor is towards the back. Gotcha, okay. So you are saying, okay, so I just wanted to get the reference. So let me make this so that you can see it directly head on. So you're saying the distance 50 millimeters over here. And this is the one that has the hole on the outside here. I don't know if you can see that with the tools in the way. Sweet. All right, cool. Now we're cooking with gas. I shouldn't say that. That poor cat upstairs. It was, yeah, I just bought him a bag of Purina 1, and yeah, he's just ripping, rooting, and tooting all over the place. Let's see, calipers are in the corner, right? Yep, calipers. Well, I'm glad you're tuned in. I'm glad you're watching, and I very much appreciate your feedback. So thank you very much for being here. And you said 50 millimeters, so let's crank away here. Whoops, that's 57. You know, when you guys aren't watching me, I can get 50 millimeters every time. When I'm on camera, it's 49.99 or 50.30. Come on. All right, let's slide you back. And Magi marker. Doo-doo-doo. Yep. So that there is 50. Let me look at my chat window real quick. Yeah, I still got the red stopper sitting here. I just don't dare unattach them at this point. Well, the cats are happy. They're tackling the crap out of each other. Hey, 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 hey. If you don't sit on his head, he won't get pissy with you. You can tell I live alone. I freaking talk to cats. This is what my life has become. Yeah, so far all the red stoppers are still in. Just don't dare remove anything at this point. So I'm guessing the next fun step is hanging all of this into the air. This is the fun going on at my house. The little minion is all in his pile of FolgerTech packing material. Okay, let's move the camera a little bit closer to the front here. There we go. Get that a little bit more flush. And I think you guys can see that better. Okay, another layer of packing can get thrown away. So this step has been done. Okay, this is where the hole is. That will be the home of an idler soon. Let's put these M38s back in here. Okay, let's go back to the directions. Oops. If I click the right thing. Come on, Paul, you big dumb animal. Come on, give me the stretchy. Stretch that a little bit more. Okay, let's go to page 26. Well, this looks like a whole bunch of WTF. Okay, so we are mounting it into anybody care to explain this picture to me? Mount the part we assembled in the last set to the blocks on the linear rails using the M3 hardware. Adjust the sit flush on the blocks with no tension. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to be using my washers. I don't want to pinch that ACM. Make sure the BFP19 is on the front end. Well, I really would love to have a picture of the BF19 on the end. At least there's an inset over here. So I'm guessing this is the side that has that little part sticking out. Sure any traces of feline is off of that thing. All right, so let's look at my view here. Okay, so this fella right here. And over here is front facing me. So this guy, okay, we want to have this guy facing over here. The side of the pulley is towards the front, gotcha. And the motor is facing the X-axis motor. Well, so far, I've only got those two, I'm guessing, Y motors right now installed. I don't think I've missed any steps here. So, all right, how about a nice glug of soda? But we haven't installed any X-axis motors yet. Because the only motors I'm seeing installed here so far is down below. We have a big giant Z sitting here. All right, M310. Z1, I'm going to put washers on this. Is that gross overkill or a good suggestion in your mind? I'm just wary about dimpling the ACM. You put washers on everything too. Okay, good. You are and I think alike. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, but I just think it's the right way to do it too. All right. I'd mentioned that to Chris, and his response was, "I agree with you." So I don't, So okay. But ultimately, it's John's printer, and he can yay or nay our suggestions. So. Get myself checked out. Uh-oh, what did I miss? Did I misread something? Oh, if I'm just like you, I should get checked. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I mention it's late in my... We think alike. Sorry. Some things fail in text, don't they? Okay, now... Well, here's my first thought. Is it me or those flat washers in the way of... Well, okay, no, maybe not. Okay. So this is going to be a case of when the first screw goes in, things go a lot easier. So let's pursue that. So that's the set. Got it. Okay. All right, you. Okay. And I'm not even putting these in remotely tight. I am literally just threading them into the block. With that, even though the washer looks a little too big, but okay. I think my washers are a little big. I'll show you a picture here in a second. I'll let you tell me how ghetto they look. Alright, let me get on the other side. I'll turn on that camera. My washers, the lag does kill punchlines, that is for sure. Okay, let's switch cameras. And let's see if I can looks like the lag, from what I'm seeing, from just moving the camera and watching it on my backup laptop here, it definitely looks like the lag is about 32 seconds or so. washers. Let's get all these guys in before I think about tightening anything up, rather. Okay. So how ghetto do those washers look? Did we miss a step with the X motors? Yeah, because the only motors I have in are the those top ones. So let's see. Let's look at the instructions, because I don't believe I missed a step, did I? X assembly was this. We installed those guys. Yeah, no, we haven't reached that step apparently. This is the latest version of the manual anyway. But yeah, okay, so sorry, I missed, the lag is killing us, and X and Y are reversed compared to, okay. So we're good, we're in a good spot. I do have them in there, okay, yep. Todd mentions you may have to loosen the 4M5s from the previous step so you don't pull your horizontal rails in. Actually, they look all right. They went on quite well. I haven't tightened them up yet, but everything so far looks quite good. I mean, I'm at the point now where I can actually tighten these guys up. Because what would make, well, Todd mentions a few things that are interesting, but let me tighten these guys up real quick. That's in there tight. These sharp edges are, if you rub just right, you get bit. Because the real test will be to make sure this isn't pulling inward as you mentioned. We'll move this thing up and down the rail just to make sure it's not pulling in or out on the carriage. I like everyone's input. Everyone has a lot of different ways of thinking, and it's fun to get those all together. Okay, let's yep. A little bit of get a little bind right here. I don't know. Let me just double check these guys. Could be a lubrication issue too, because I've been removing all kinds of lube off this stuff. Those are tight. Did you experience any binding? Because I'm... Oh, you know why? It's because I'm hitting the... on one side I'm hitting the... right here is my rough spot. Right there. See? Yeah, I am hitting, the red stop is on this side, it's further in than the other one, so I think I'm coming into contact with that. The other thing too could be that, I mean, before, when this wasn't attached, they were sliding up and down just fine, so, like so. Yeah. Okay, and I think there's so little grab, I think lubrication will go. Right here. That might have been it. Okay, well, you know what? I loosened that one M3 and it seems happy, so we will see how that goes. All right. All right, I am going to make the suggestion, do we adjourn here or do we proceed with the next step? As it is 12:15 in the East Coast. And actually, it might be a good stopping point. Because technically, we have completed the Y assembly. The next step, it looks like, is the belting. I motion to adjourn. Okay, let me... Move that to here. Okay. Let's see. Proceed if you're not too tired. Well, between the soda and everything else, I feel pretty pepped up. But this might be a great stopping point because we're at like the 3-hour mark. So I could stop this video here and then we can resume tomorrow. You know, whenever I wake up and after I go to the gym, get some stuff done. Then we can kind of marathon it tomorrow afternoon if you guys want to join in for that. How long did it take Z1 to get his printer together, I wonder? $16? Wow. Well, we've done... How many nights have we done? Oh, we've pretty much done one video every night. So, well, this is technically hour number 4 because the first one was just unpacking. So we've got about 8 hours into it, and now we're starting to get into the fun stuff. So yeah, let's stop here. I think that's a good idea. So to those of you that made it to the very end, thanks for watching. What we're going to do is we're going to stop here. It's 12:15 in the East Coast. And we started a little bit later tonight. We started at 9. I had a lot of requests from people on the West Coast saying, hey, can you add an hour so I can get in? So that's been done. We got the X assembly completed, and we are midway in the Y assembly. There's a few more steps there. As I can see the next step coming up, we're dealing with the belting, and then we're dealing with some other stuff. So I think this is a good place to stop and get a fresh start in the morning, and we'll see how far we can chip along at that tomorrow. So there we go. So as always, thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribers, hit the subscribe button in the bottom. If you want to help me and my channel out, there are links down below where you can do so. If you're interested in picking up an FT-6 or any of the FolgerTech printers, there is a coupon code in the description so you can take advantage of that and save some money. So I thank you guys for helping along with my build. I enjoyed the conversation. You guys corrected me a number of times along the way, and it's been fun. This is a good time. I like doing stuff like this. I thank you for your feedback and comments, and we'll be back at this again tomorrow, and let's see how far we can get. Have a good night, guys, and remember, this is where nerdy is cool. Stay nerdy. Have a good night, guys.